Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl Tendai, the hair whisperer, and we are back for another exciting edition of Texture Talk Live. Be sure that if you're just getting on here, share this video. And if you're brand new to Texture Talk, do understand that this is where we get to talk about all things related to natural hair. We talk about how to go natural. We talk about big chops. We talk about porosity levels. We talk about whether your hair is too dry, whether it's too brittle, whether you got good hair or bad hair. We don't even know what that means. But the thing is that this is all about texture. Share this video. We're so happy to be here on the Natural Hair Mag Facebook page tonight. It's going to be an amazing show. And I look forward to Texture Talking Live with each and every one of you guys. So do me a favor. Once you come on, our motto around here is, my natural is my natural. Check it out, y'all. My shirt. Blam. My natural is my natural. I got it on for you all today. Ow. Yes. So we're going to do that. Type that in. Type in where you're tuning in from and say, my natural is my natural. Now look at this. My natural is getting big. It's growing up at one point it was a toddler, but I think it's probably about a teenager now. What you think? Yeah. It's like a teen, a preteen, a teenager. For real. My fro's growing up. So glad to see you guys. So glad to see you guys. Let's see who we got on here. Where in the world is my mouse? Y'all see a mouse around here? Meanwhile, I'm so glad to see you guys. Let me find my mouse. I'm going to show you guys. We have a wonderful model on tonight. Beautiful model. Her name is Sarai. I'll introduce you guys to her. And tonight we're going to be discussing heat damage. Yes, heat damage. Okay. So a lot of people like to flat iron their hair, no matter what people say. Some people like to do that. So let's see who we got on here. My natural is my natural from Tulsa. Right on, Debbie Hunt. So nice to have you here. Let's see who we got on here. Patricia Thomas. She says, my natural is from Duluth, Georgia. Shout out to Duluth. What's going on? Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, the Whisper Whip is going to be in Macy's November 4th. Woo! Y'all make some noise on that way. Y'all can't hear me. I can't hear y'all. But yeah, make some noise anyway. Woo! Also, Abigail Dillon. My natural is my natural from Canada. Canada is in the house. That's right. Thank you so much for joining in. My natural is my natural. Aquila D. Autry from Texas. Thank you for coming in. We really, really appreciate you being on here. See all the hearts and love. I really appreciate you guys. Be sure to share the video because tonight we're going to have an amazing show. So without further ado, let's jump right into this texture talk. Heat damage. We're going to talk about how to identify it. We're going to talk about where it comes from and how to get it back if you can. If you can. All right. We've got Rose Lewis. My natural is my natural. Upstate New York. From New York. Yeah, concrete jungles where dreams are made of. She said uptown New York, upstate. It's all too good. T. Anderson, thank you so much. Cayman Islands is in the building. Y'all make some noise for Cayman Islands. Woo! That's a new one for me. So what? Way to go, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. So let's get our beautiful model in here. We're gonna start talking about some things, okay? Her name is Sarai. Give Sarai some love. Everybody's like, hi, I see you. This is Sarai. And she is 15 years old. She is the model that I chose because I worked with her. When did I do your first big chop?
What was that? 2007?
Were you like 13?
No, that was 16.
16. Yeah. So this is 7, 8. So it's 2 years. You were 13. Yep. I did a video. So if you guys check out YouTube and you type in teen big chop, you'll see her picture come up. We cut her hair probably about to this short. Okay. It was short. And her hair was probably about this long. Was it this long?
Yeah, we cut it really short.
Yeah, when we did the big chop, she came in gorilla style, like cut it, cut it, cut it. You need to cut it. She was so ready. I was kind of like, are you sure? But I'm that girl. You come to me and tell me you want your hair cut. I say, okay.
Because first we did a roller set, I think, to like get me used to.
Right. Yeah, we did that to try to get her used to it. Well, you did that, right?
No,
I did. Oh, wow. So anyway, yeah. So either way, she came in and we were talking about her hair. And she was really wanting to be a curly girl. If you see the video, you'll see that she's like, I really want to be a curly girl and all of that. And but like a lot of people who have gone in and silk pressed their hair, silk pressed, flat ironed it out, or whatever, they end up getting these straight pieces in their hair. Now I've straightened my hair, blown it out, and straightened it out every once in a while. I say this year I maybe did it twice. You can probably see the videos. I don't wear it straight very often because I don't want to compromise my curl pattern. So I am a licensed cosmetologist. I have been so for many, many years. I have big chopped my hair probably 5 times in my life. It was never traumatic to me. How did it feel when you cut your hair? Be honest.
I was like, dang. I did it because I was so used to long,
just long hair, right?
Cut it off.
And we cut it off, and she had a little curly fro. And I know she wasn't used to that. Her mom was like, "Oh my gosh, she cried." See, go ahead.
It was a good learning experience. It like helped me learn to love me and my hair. Like,
yes. She said it helped her learn.
I let it go.
Exactly. So what we are doing today is we're going to discuss different challenges with people who do silk press their hair. Now, not everybody is fond of that. Like I said, I'm not a person who necessarily likes to wear my hair straightened, but every now and then when I do, I want my hair to come back to curly. I'm sure like most of you guys would too. So those are some of the issues that I would like to talk about. What happens when you put too much heat on your hair? What makes your curl pattern go away in the first place? And then how to get it back if you can get it back. But before we do that, y'all know you got to get your water out. Get your water. And this is the time when we actually talk about hydration, how important it is. Water is great for your body. It's great for your skin, great for your hair, and all that good stuff. And you want to make sure that you're drinking enough water, plenty of water, okay? So we're going to throw this back on the count of 3. If you don't have your water, now's a good time to go get your water, your hydration. And if you're just joining us, share the video. Share the video. We want everybody to tune in from all over the world. We've had some amazing people on here. We've got some people from Canada on here and Cayman Islands, and that's what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. On the count of 3, we're going to throw our water back. 1, 2, 3. I pour water all down my shirt. We do that sometimes. So we're going to get into this thing. Thank you guys for sharing the video, and thank you for those of you who just tuned in. This is Texture Talk Live with the Hair Whisperer Tendai. So let's talk about some things. What causes heat damage in the first place, other than the obvious heat? We know that, right? However, you've seen some people who have blow dried their hair out and straightened it, and they didn't have any issue at all. Seems like their hair came right back to curly, no biggie, you know. Right. And then you have other people who it seems like their hair is just stringy and limp and it's just not doing anything. I will tell you that I definitely promote your curls. I am a person who I like people to explore their natural hair if you haven't done so. I don't want you to use straight hair as a crutch. I want you to understand that your curly hair can be beautiful, which I think is what Soraya experienced. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did experience that and falling in love with her whole texture. We've got My Natural is My Natural from Granada. Welcome. So glad to have you here. But Soraya experienced that. She experienced falling in love with her texture, and she's able to kind of move back and forth without being insecure about her texture when she does wear it, right? Yes, so she's worn braids. I know you wore braids while you were kind of growing it back out. And I think, how many times have you straightened your hair since you went natural and let it go back out?
It was only around maybe birthday or, well, to the back, yeah, birthday or like picture days, school
something
functions.
Like that. Yeah, so you were just kind of switching it up for doing some different things.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, Soraya's 15. So she's like, let's see what I can do. She got time to cut her hair off again if she decides to in life. She's like, yes.
I want to.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. That's what I love about these young people. They will cut their hair off, and they're not afraid to go natural either. They're not afraid. So what happens when we end up with heat damage on our hair? Okay. Well, if you think about the bonds in a strand of our hair, those bonds are kind of like a rubber band. So I'll get this just to kind of demonstrate to you guys. It's kind of like a rubber band. This is one with a cloth on it, has that little cloth on it, so it's not as damaging to the hair. But if you have one that is stretching, if you think about the bonds inside of a hair strand, one strand of hair, a curly strand, it'll kind of look like this. It'll be, it'll curl around, and there's a break, and then it curls around. But those bonds actually are where there's a break in those bonds. So those bonds where it's a curl pattern in your hair, I'm sorry. But what happens is that over time, if you think about applying heat to a strand, it will be almost like stretching this rubber band over and over again. And when you do that too often, it weakens the rubber band or it weakens the bonds in your hair, which causes your hair to now have that limp curl pattern. Okay, so when you go in and you blow dry your hair, those bonds kind of pulled apart like this temporarily. And then when you wet them, they're supposed to go back together like normal. But if you put too much heat on it, so say for instance, when you go in and you cleanse your hair, you shampoo your hair, you use hot water or warm water, that warm water kind of warms your strand up, which stretches your bond just a little bit. Okay. Then after that, you may go under a blow dry, a dryer, a hair dryer, sit under there. That's going to stretch, heat your hair up more, stretches the bonds apart even more. Then you go in and you blow dry the hair, stretching the bonds apart even more. And then after that, you go in and flat iron it, stretching them back to the max, to the point where now it has nowhere else to go except for the break off. Okay, the elasticity zone is where it starts to break off. I'm breaking that down to you guys really quickly, but that, you know, it can't stretch anymore. The only other place it's going to go is broken. And then once it breaks, you can't use that rubber band at all anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So that's what happened. That's kind of a good analogy for me to show you guys what happens when you go in and you silk press your hair, and especially not following the rules that would allow you to get back to curly. That rule really is just understanding how to introduce heat and then allow your hair to cool down in between those heat introductions. Okay. So that is really, really important. We do have a few questions and comments on here. I'm going to, that's yours or mine? No, that's okay. Mine. I'm going to show some of the comments and we'll discuss those. So we've got Rhonda Brown. She says, my daughter is an athlete, natural curly, but does flat iron on occasion. Mm-hmm. Hey, from London. Hey, London town. My natural is my natural. Let me see you say it. And we got Grenada in the house. Any other questions on here? You guys, if you have questions, be sure to type them in the comment section. I will go back in and read those questions and we'll address the questions that you guys have. Good evening. My natural is my natural from Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you so much. And we welcome you here to Texture Talk live on the Natural Hair Mag Facebook page. All right. So let's get into it. What I did, I know I talk to you guys about Whisper Whip quite often.
My favorite product.
She gets so happy. But Whisper Whip Hydration is an amazing staple. I talk about this product all the time. Yes, I'm in love with it. I am. Yes. But it's important to understand why we need a product like this in our natural hair regimen, no matter what you're doing, whether you're curly. Last week, I had two models on. One was a 4C model or 4B texture category, and the other model was about a 3 texture category, but it was really good to see how that product works. So right now we're going to revert her hair back to curly just to see if she has heat damage, and we're going to address if she does have heat damage, what we can do to get her hair back healthy, back on track. All right, so that's the Whisper Whip Hydration. There's some questions on here for us to address. All right. Serenity. She says, hey there, how often is too much flat ironing? Okay, we're going to address that question. So thank you so much for tuning in, first of all, Serenity. But it is, the more you flat iron your hair, the weaker your bonds can get. And I say can get because I do have clients that I've worked on for years that I flat iron, but their hair goes right back to curly because of the specific care, specific steps that I take to keep the integrity of their curls intact. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful about the kind of heat you're applying. And I don't care how often you're doing, you have to make sure you follow the right steps. If you guys think, just apply this rule to your life. If you think about every human being and their hair texture, no matter if it's bone straight down to the curliest texture, having a specific need. On the straightest hair side, shampoo is where they're going to go first. On the textured side, conditioners is where you're going to go first. So before you put water on your hair, before you do anything else, you're going to want to raise the moisture levels of your hair so that your hair now has something to protect it against the heat. You have to protect your hair by all means, because the sebum from your scalp does not slide down curly strands, which typically leaves our hair in a drier state. So it's really, really important to make sure that you're hydrating. And I'm going to show you guys how we do that today. But I thank you so much for your question, Serenity. We got a few more on here. My natural is my natural from New Jersey. What's going on, New Jersey? B Love says, if you have lost a lot of your curl pattern due to heat, would you need to cut it short again? Wow, that's what we're here for tonight, right, Sarai?
Yes.
Don't panic. I'm not going to cut her hair off tonight, because she was like, oh, Lord.
I failed being natural.
Yeah.
Part two.
She didn't fail. She didn't fail. You don't have relaxers, right? No. But she did decide to blow dry her hair out. And I think what it is that we're going to actually curl her hair up using the Whisper Whip, but we'll be able to see exactly what needs to what's heat damaged and what's not heat damaged. And we'll talk about whether her hair is so damaged that it can't come back. So to answer your question, B-Love, do you have to cut your hair off? And the answer to that is going to be not necessarily, okay? Do understand that if your hair is severely heat damaged, it's going to break off anyway, just like a relaxer would. If it's severely heat damaged, you would know, because when you wet it, no matter what you do, conditioner, it will just be stringy and limp, and then the roots of your hair will be kind of curly. And that is extreme heat damage. That hair is going to break off on its own. And what you don't want is to break it off, and then you end up having to get a big cut, because now your hair is so uneven and it just looks crazy. I tell people long strands are not cute. Cut it off. Don't sit there trying to work with these strands of hair. Is not going to help you. You cannot style them. I don't care how much curling you're doing. It's not cute. Cut your hair and get a cute style and save everybody's time and life. That's the bottom line. All right. Miss Kanai, is that what it says? Canals. Okay. Canals. All right. 4C or 4Z, meaning very coarse, hard to get as straight as she wants. 4Z. There's no such thing as a 4Z. I'm just laughing right now. She's talking about a 4C or a 4Z. 4C, like cat. There are 3 texture categories, so I'll break that down to you guys today. I do have a video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is the Hair Whisperer Tendai, and also on Instagram, you could Healthy Hair Solutions _ Healthy Hair Solutions _ That's my Instagram. Please join me there. But we're going to talk about those different textures. Kimberly Thompson's natural from Tampa. I got heat damage, had to clip the dead hair out. How can I get my curl pattern back? So let's talk about that now. The first thing that people tend to do when they're trying to get their curl pattern back is they go in and they start to wash their hair, thinking that that's going to help it to come back. And then they comb it and do all these different things, and it doesn't snap back the way they want it to. Remember, we talked about those weekend bonds. Those bonds don't go back the same way that they used to. Now, let me say this. Hair has memory. So what you do to your hair over and over again is what your hair is going to remember to do. So the more you flat iron it and straighten it, it will take time. If your bonds are not completely broken, it will take time for them to curl back up. So you have to encourage that curl and really, do things that's going to allow your curl pattern to come back in. But if it's too far gone, you might as well hang it up. You're going to have to cut it. Okay. And that's just that. So we're going to get into actually getting Sarai's hair curled up here so we can see exactly what her curl pattern is. We have a few other questions on here. You want to read this one, Sarai? Because I can't see from this far. All right.
Bertha D. Bard.
Yeah. We're going to say, D.
I colored my hair because I don't like gray. The color I dyed it, I hate. I want to temper. I cut my hair, but I'm having a hard time trying to find the color. I want to cut it really low. Should I just let it come back to its natural color?
Bertha, what color did you color your hair? I'm curious to know. I want to see a picture. You're welcome, Kimberly Thomas. I want to see a picture of your hair. What color did you color your hair that you just absolutely hated? Because that's a whole different topic. That's a different show altogether. We can talk about color for hours. So let's get started here. What I'm going to do is actually start in the crown of, well, I'm going to start in the back of Sarai's hair. So I'll turn you guys around so you can see that her hair is straightened. She dyed it red. Ooh, that's the hardest one to get out. But there are ways you can use color red. I would suggest you go to a professional stylist, Bertha. Bertha dyed her hair red, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I would suggest you go to a professional stylist and have them, someone who's preferably does a lot of color, and they may not necessarily look like you. I'm just letting you know, and let them get it out. But no, don't bleach it. Don't bleach it. All right. So you see Sarai's hair. All right. What I'm gonna do is a lot of people. A lot of people have seen me go in and just add Whisper Whip on the ends of my hair when it's in this state to curl it back up. We could totally do that for styling purposes for Sarai. And as a matter of fact, I think I will. I'm kind of just go in, add a little bit of Whisper Whip on the ends of her hair. So this is the 32-ounce bottle of Whisper Whip. You can get these on our website. I will share the link for you guys once we get off of here. But the Whisper Whip hydration is really a softening agent. It makes the hair really, really soft. And it's just amazing. It smells great. It doesn't leave a residue on your hands or anything like that or on your hair once you use it correctly. But I'm just going to put a little bit on her hair. And then I'm going to add more to the ends of her hair just to kind of get it to curl up and do some things. But I want to see how much of her hair is going to curl up. Okay. And I'm putting Whisper Whip on because the very first ingredient in Whisper Whip is water. What a lot of people, they go in and try to co-wash their hair, and it's just too thick, and it ends up making the hair just kind of weigh down, and they can't really wear it all out. But this is different. It allows the moisture to go right into her hair strands and allows us to see exactly what's going to curl up in her hair, and it allows us to see if she has heat damage, and if she does, how much. Okay, so I've got that in her hair and the ends of her hair. I'm gonna let that sit. I can see it starting to curl up already on the ends. I'm gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna go to another section of her hair. Meanwhile, where can you find the product, Kia Howard? You can find it on my website. Okay, and I'm gonna share the link. There's a link that you guys, a Natural Hair Mag link that you guys can use, and you could actually get, I think, like 30% off right now. We have a really good deal going. Okay, I see curls coming, guys. Can you guys see that? We're just letting it sit on her hair. I like to put it right on her dry hair. And notice I only put it on the ends of her hair because I wanted to just try something. But I want to go all the way through with it after the fact, just to kind of show you guys what's actually heat damage and what's not. We may come up with nothing. Now, Sarai told me that she feels like she has a lot of heat. Well, no, not a lot. She said she has heat damage. What area?
Just left side back.
Left side back. Okay. So right in this area over here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. She's like, yep, I do. Now, do you Whisper Whip your hair at home?
Yes.
You do. Okay. What was it like growing your hair out?
It was a process, like trying not to, well, when I first did the chop, well, especially the school I was at, like it was a shock to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But growing it out, I had to not put heat on it, and I had to learn how to do styles too, because it was so short. It was like, had to figure out, twist out, stuff like that.
Right.
Keep it hydrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate, it's like a lot of people still have that strange stigma about the big chops and nervous about it, long hair versus straight hair versus curly hair and all that stuff. So it's definitely a journey that empowers you, I would say. Empowers you. It makes you feel like, you know what, I can do anything really. You think you had that experience?
Yeah. Once you chop it, it's like your hair grows. When so holding on to the dead weight,
right?
Not
good. Let it go. Let it go. Like that little girl from that movie. Let it go. Frozen. Frozen. Let it go. So those ends are coming in really well right now. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to turn you back around. So just as fast as I put that on her hair, you're going to see that the ends are curling up. You guys see that? Lean back a little bit so they can see. See what's happening? So there are tons of ways to get your hair to come back in, and we're actually going to see how natural her hair is. I didn't put the product from here to here. Sit straight up again. I didn't put the product from here to here. I only put it on the ends because I wanted to kind of see what we were working with, and I'll go back in and put it through the rest in just a second. I know I do see the questions coming in, guys, and I will definitely address them. Please be sure to share the video if you haven't done so already. That would do me a huge favor. I love that. You guys rocked it out last week, so thank you so much. The Whisper Whip bottle itself is 32 ounces. The cool thing about it is that it lasts you forever. Her mom's over like, mm-hmm.
Everybody in the house using it.
Yeah, everybody. The babies, the dog, everybody's using it. And I'm not lying. Am I right? You're right. Her mother told me, I used Whisper Whip on my dog. His hair was super soft. Yep, it's hair. Thank you so much, Andrea Jackson, for sharing that. I do see the other questions coming in. I'm going to continue to put this product through her hair. And then I want to show you guys what we came up with.
Now this side takes forever to bounce back.
She's like, this side takes forever to bounce back. See, now she's super, super interested in making sure her curls are staying on point. But I see curls coming in.
It's like I have to sometimes. Is scrunching bad for your hair?
No. So her question was, is scrunching bad for your hair?
That's what I always do, is try to get it back.
Right. She asked me, is scrunching bad for your hair? And the answer to that is no. Sometimes you do have to scrunch it a little bit. What you don't want to do is agitate it and start like rubbing your hands together to create some kind of vigorous whatever. You don't want to do that because that causes your hair to break off. So just going in lightly and scrunching it like this, that won't hurt it at all. Actually, I do this to my hair quite often for styling purposes and to give myself, like, to keep the length and to make my curls come in. It's a lot of fun. And then as it gets older, it just gets better and better. So Bertha, she says, your hair is gorgeous. How do you get the style, and what do you use to get the kinky look? So this is probably, oh gosh, probably a week old.
For real?
Yeah, a week old. What I'm doing to her hair now with this Whisper Whip, I literally get my curls to come in. And the beautiful thing about texture hair, guys, it's a style like over time. You may start off with your curls looking like Rick James. It just be hanging down straight and long and limp. And then the next day, it'll kind of dry out a little bit. And then you can stand it up and do more to it. I have fine strands of hair, much like Sarai's, you know what I mean? My strands are not super thick, but it allows me to be able to do so much more with my hair when it's older. So this is like about 7-day-old hair. And after Whisper Whipping it. And I just really kind of try to maintain it by putting it up in a pineapple at night. Put my hair up at night, sleep with it a bun on top of my head at night. And then when I take it, when I get in the shower, I let the water kind of hit it just a little bit. And I shake it out, take my ponytail holder out, and just let it fall back down. I activate the ends with water. And I use my fingers a lot, just like what I'm doing with her. Just a lot, using my fingers and allowing the curl pattern to just come in the best way that it can. So I'm looking at her hair, and I kind of see what she's talking about. She's kind of grown to know her hair, and I do see what you're talking about. All right, so right out the gate, you see I didn't put any product in the straight parts here. I put it on the ends of her hair just to kind of see what will curl up and what wouldn't. Now from here, if I wanted to just style her out, here's a tip, going back to your curly, if I wanted to style her out, I could literally take a part, like a deep part here. Do you part on this side or this side?
Usually this side.
Okay. And the parts that you're going to be able to see, and I actually did this video for myself. You can go back and take a look at my own videos, and I did this style on myself. Take some Whisper Whip in your hand, and everything that you can actually see, you can rub it and hydrate it so that the top part curls up. Anything that's going to be seen. Everything else underneath is going to be about keeping her length. But right now, this is about curling up the parts that you can see. The products are so versatile. And this is me using the co-wash as a leave-in, as a styling cream. Do me a favor. I'm going to step out of the way. Shake your hair out for me. Okay. So you see what's kind of happening with her now. Her curls are starting to come in. The parts where I rub the Whisper Whip in, it will curl up more in the front. Okay. Kind of see what's happening with her. You see that? She's like, yeah, I'm almost back. And I'll turn her around so you can kind of see. Just a quick way to start initiating a wash and go type of effect. Super fast. She could do her edges and let me see, put a little more in the areas where it's still straight so that you can't see that, but not taking away all of her length by making every single strand draw up. Super easy way to get a wash and go look without having to wet your whole head down and add gel and product to every single strand. Okay, so we're working with the straight pieces underneath and allowing the curls to form on the end. And as her hair starts to dry, it will get bigger and bigger.
Now, like, if right now, is there anything like on the very end we could cut?
You want to cut?
No, I'm saying like.
Well, right now I wouldn't necessarily do it. It's not enough to cut off. Okay, if you had like a lot of strands that were just stringy and on there, I would be worried, and I'd be like, you know what, we probably need to go ahead and rethink this whole natural hair journey you're on so we can get a better result from it. You know, like I said, long strands are nothing. Long strands are nothing. So this part right here in the front, where it's a little straight, all I would do is take it in the palm of my hand after I've kind of straightened it out a little bit with my fingers, and I literally would just grab it in my fist and scrunch it to encourage the curl. Nothing wrong with doing that. Shake it out again. This time, don't move your hands around. Just shake it out. Now just throw your hair back. There you go. So you guys see what's happening with her? I'm going to turn her around. You can see what's happening with the product in her hair. It's still damp, still wet. There's still a few pieces under here where you can see where I didn't put any of the product. But if I want to go in and add a little more to that area to hydrate it and activate her curls, I can do that. Straight on dry hair. Super, super, super versatile. So nice because the product is water-based. It's water-based. So it allows her to be able to get her curls to come in really quickly and just kind of activate that out. Hold your hair back. There you go. See what's happening with her curls? So she just came, for those of you who are just tuning in, she just went from her hair being straightened to now her curls coming in. So that's just seen that. That's a way to style her hair so that she can rock it a different way for a little bit. Still have the volume. Her hair is not all limp and weird looking, right? Any place that's straight, add a little bit of the Whisper Whip in, and it creates, I totally dropped it. It creates the curls for her. Thank you so much, Michelle. We're going to talk about some other things on here tonight too, which is locks. She gonna kill me, but she's like, what? We're going to talk about it because people have locks that are on here. We're going to talk about that too. So I'm kind of letting this sit on Sarai's hair. So you guys see. Shake it out just a little bit for me. Hello, Jeannie P. I just added the argan oil to her hair because she wants to wear it out. She can totally do that, okay? But I don't think you're in that bad of a way, honestly. I think it's just a matter of you encouraging your curl. See what's happening with her hair?
Just draw back on the heat.
Yeah, and just lay off the heat for a while. I think you'll be fine.
Okay.
Notice how I'm going here? Underneath, I actually think I'm going to curl the bottom part up a little bit more. You notice how when I part her hair, these straight pieces are in here? That's because that's where she was flat ironed, and I did not put any Whisper Whip on there. But if I want to create a bob effect, See how this is hanging long and curl up down here? I'm going to create more like of a bob effect where it stacks out more. I'm going to go under here and literally put the Whisper Whip in these areas to make this shrink up just a little bit. Just a tip for you guys is styling. I love what their product is doing. Amen. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm going to go in and take a little bit of the Whisper Whip hydration and hold your head down for me, Sarai. I'm going to rub it right through the areas that we want to curl up. And her hair is not going to be tangled. And how does it smell, Sarai?
Good.
She just sang it. GDP says Whisper Whip is everything. Yes, it is. I'm going in and just hydrating her roots, giving her some more volume under here. Pulling it all the way through in the very bottom section of her hair. Okay, now that's going to start to curl up. You see what's happening? Right before your eyes, it's starting to curl up. And it's starting to shrink up. See, you guys have to learn when to work with shrinkage. Don't be afraid of shrinkage. People get so bent out of shape, like, oh my God, my shrinkage, blah, blah, blah. Hey, if the shrinkage is in the right areas, it's all good. Your hair is going to be phenomenal. Okay. If it's really, really short, also remember that shrinkage is where your hair grows the most. So check this out. Now, you see how her hair curled up here? All right. And right above that, I still have the straight area, which I want to layer out and be longer over that bottom area to give her more of a bob type effect. See how I did that? Do me a favor. Hold your head back and shake your hair out again. I'm going to be able to tell Sarai nothing. Thank you, big sis. My sister said beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Now you see how her hair is starting to dry? What do you think, Sarai?
I love big hair.
She's happy. It's just a beautiful thing. Natural hair is so versatile. And you guys totally saw when she first came on here, how her hair was just super, yeah, it's gorgeous, right? This is what I do to my hair. So you see we're twins. Twinsies! This is pretty much what I do. I don't do a whole lot of twisting on my hair because I know the more that I twist it, the more damage it can cause. Notice I'm kind of pulling through the top. I don't have to do a whole lot with, yeah. Somebody said with the Whisper Whip, you go from straight to curly in an instant. You got it.
I was just bone straight.
Bone straight. If you don't believe me, rewind this video when we're done, and you can see how her hair was. As people were getting like, I don't want to do that. But the thing is that, guys, natural hair is versatile. So sometimes don't pass judgment on people. Sometimes you may see somebody that's got a flat iron, and you'd be like, well, I'm natural, and I ain't gonna mess up my curl pattern. You don't mess up your curl pattern if you do it correctly. See, we have options. Does this work on all hair textures? Absolutely. It works different ways on different textures. My natural is what, Sarai? My natural.
It's my
natural. That's right. And my natural is my natural. And it's important to know that. Hold your head back and shake it out again. You see that? And so pieces like this. So say, for instance, she's got one strand that's hanging here. That's like just want to be unruly. Literally, all I'm going to do is wrap this around my finger. And you got a hairpin somewhere. All right. I will wrap this around my finger, just like this. And pin it out of the way. Because hair has memory, guys. Hair literally will start to go even straighter, or if you encourage it to curl, it'll continue to curl up like that. So now that I've got it out of the way, we can allow her hair to just remember that curl pattern. It dries in that state. By the time she gets to school, she can pull that hairpin out and rock her fro. Be ready to go. Another little piece right here. Just wrap it around my finger. Can you guys see that? Get a little closer so you can see. Straight piece right here. Wrap it around my finger. Make sure the ends are tucked in, and just release it in her hair. Or you can, let it go. In that case, it just kind of curl up on its own, right?
So much volume.
So cute. So yeah, just that's just a little tip. You guys don't have to put the whisper whip all the way through your hair. You can put it on the part you want to curl up. See, this is the piece that we wrapped around our finger a second ago. And if it's too straight, you can do like I do, get a piece of scissors, get a pair of scissors and cut that piece out. You won't even see it. I mean, like at the root, cut it down where it's just gone, but not a whole patch of hair, just one or two strands. You can do that. So I think we got you good to go, sweetie. What do you think? Shake it side to side like that. Ow! She's like, uh-huh. Yes. So we got a few comments and questions. All right. Leandro Higgins says, love it. Jocelyn Woosley says, your stuff is not working for me. Okay, are you working for the stuff? Now, the question is, what are you doing with it? Did you put it on dry hair? What's your texture like? It's a lot of things, because I get that a lot. I hear people say, oh, it didn't work for me like that. It's not doing it like that for me. And really, it's all in the way that you do it. So, yeah, I would love to talk to you. We should probably do a one-on-one consultation, because I love people like you. When you say, it's not working for me, I love that. Because in my 20 some odd years of doing this, I'm telling you, I think I've seen your hair texture at some point. So I would love to take a look at it. Let me know. Thanks for the tip. I have a couple of strands just like this. Yeah, that's what it's all about. A lot of times it could be the product, like, Jocelyn was saying here, it's not working for me. That's what this is all about. Texture Talk is all about understanding how to manipulate your hair so that products can get the maximum results for you. That's what it's all about. And then other times it's all about the combinations of the products and how you use them. So yeah, tell me what it is. What's happening with your hair? What is it doing? And then we can go from there. And also, what area do you live in? Kalia Bragg says, how do you get the product? Well, you're going to go on my website. Jocelyn Woodsy. Okay, but you have 4C. Okay, let's switch spaces real quick. I'm going to talk to them for a little bit. Thank you, Sarai. And I will have her come back in just a moment to talk to us a little bit more. Yeah, this part right here, that's where you can curl it up, your finger. Okay. Yeah. So I'm here. How can you get the product? You literally can get the product by going on my website. I'm going to share a link for you guys where you're able to see. Jocelyn, I'm going to talk to you about yours here in just a second, because you have to understand your expectations. What kind of expectations are you trying to get with your hair? Because if your hair is really, really tight, like if you send me a picture, we can talk about what exactly you have. But if your hair is really, really tight, what it's going to do is soften your texture. A couple things. One time a girl told me, oh, it's not working for me. But she actually shampooed her hair first, and then she conditioned it, and then she went in and tried to whisper with her hair. Well, the thing is that is a lot of times not going to work, because you end up, if you think about hair being like the natural level being here, and then your dryness being this is your hair strand. With shampoo, what you're going to do is lower the level of your moisture here. And then conditioner, you'll try to bring it back up, but it will never be back to where it's supposed to be until maybe after about a week or so. You know how people say, my hair acts better when it gets dirty? So you start thinking about right here. All right. What the Whisper Whip is doing is when your hair is right here, it's put in balance. You put the Whisper Whip on dry hair, not on wet hair, and it takes it here. And then whatever else you do, it'll bring it back down here. So what I did with Sarai, normally what I do, 4C textures, all of that, I put the product right on there, and it literally creates a moisture environment that is heightened, that's going to allow the person to manipulate their hair, create the curls and stuff that they want based on their texture category. So if you're category 3, which is going to be like S patterns, like my hair, bigger S's are done, smaller S's are like Sarai's, then you're going to get a curl pattern that is produced by your DNA. If it's a tight curl pattern, well, you'll see that as well. But I encourage people to work with their curl pattern and in a shrunken state and get it cut in a style that's actually going to work for you. Because what happens is if you don't, you're chasing my curl, whatever, my style and my DNA produce curls or somebody else's form of natural, and then you're disappointed. So really it's about you, your natural. My natural is my natural. Understanding what your texture does is so important in your styling regimen. And it also helps you to get really good results. So I would love to see your hair. Show me, we can do a live chat and I could actually see what you're doing in your hair and we could talk about the results and how to get them. So love it. Inbox me. I would love to talk to you about it on my page. Go to Tendai Robin Morris on Facebook and just send me a message on Messenger. I've done it a million times. Love to talk to you. All right, Paula Green. I'm so afraid to flat iron my hair. How do you know how much heat your hair can take? So let's talk about that. Because the thing is our hair, it changes up as far as what the amount of heat that you're putting on your hair. What I normally do is when you go in with the Whisper Whip and you raise the moisture levels to where they're supposed to be, what happens is that hair ends up being able to literally handle heat in intervals. And when I say that, I mean that you're going to blow dry the hair, wash the hair, let it cool down. You ever hear people say, I put like a shot of cool water on the hair before I do anything else to it. So that's one part. Then you go in with a blow dryer and you blow dry it out, and then you let it cool all the way back down. And then you can go back in with your flat irons and hit it lightly first, just kind of loosen it up some, let it cool back down, and then go flat iron it. And I guarantee you that if it's done the right way, your hair is not only going to be straight the way you would like it, but you're also going to be able to get your curls to come back. So we'll do a video like that too coming up, where you can actually see how we take a person and flat iron their hair out, and then take them back to their curly hair. She's over here bouncing up and down with her curls. She's just like yeah, I'm just excited now. But Erica Toole, let's see. Vanessa Fabulous, Favor Duncan, do you have a product that will thicken the hair? No, and there are products on the market. There's shampoos that will actually swell up the cuticle layer of your hair. I tend to stay away from them because they seem like they dry the hair out. But as far as like your actual hair follicles being activated, that may be a whole different ball game. So we'd have to talk about that in a future, one of our future shows. Let's see what other messages we have on there. But yes, to answer your question, not necessarily thicken, but that's one I would have to see. Leandra Higgins says, can you help me? Well, I'm not sure. What is it that you need help with? Let's talk about that. All right. Now, I'm not going to even try to, is it Zinga T. Ether Gordon? 4C is an extremely tight curl. It may not give you the loose curl, but everybody is different. You may have to do a twist out to achieve a curly look. She's exactly right. Everybody's different. Jocelyn Woolsey, you're very welcome. I look forward to talking to you. But you know what I like to do? You're right. There are lots of styling techniques for people to get different looks. True. But what I've noticed is that people don't understand the basics of hydration. If you don't understand how to create a healthy strand of hair, I don't care how much twisting you're going to do, you're going to end up twisting your hair off. So, because you wind things around, it ends up breaking off because it's dry. And you have to make sure that you're understanding how to raise the moisture levels of your hair before you go into any kind of styling. And also understanding Nzinga. Thank you, Nzinga. Thank you so much. It really, really works. Piggybacking off the last question, what do you recommend for thinning hair, possibly from tight braids? Leave them braids alone. That's one thing. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Braids, if the strands are, if the hair is too heavy for your individual strands. So say, for instance, you have fine strands. And when I say fine strands, I have fine strands. Like my hair looks all voluminous. But if you look through here, you can see my hand through the back, through my hair, right? Because my individual strands are very, very fine, like a spider web. So what that does is it makes my hair very susceptible to breakage. Very, very easy to break. So you have to be careful not to put a strand like that. The toyogalons, all those different fibers of hair, when you braid it in, it's not only very heavy, but it's also cutting your strands. So if you have fine strands, and Ray, I know you do have fine strands of hair, it will literally start to break your hair off. So on your edges, what you want to do is start to direct your hair back the other direction, meaning forward instead of back. Start directing it forward. If you do get braids, make sure they're stationary, where you're not flipping them and moving them and You know, you're not doing all this with your hair and making it swing around and around because it's just wrapping, it's going to break off. And as far as growing it back in, besides, you know, using like your rosemary oils and your tea tree oils to just kind of stimulate that area, you got to leave it alone. You got to let your hair just kind of be free, you know. Gotta be free. Every time I say that, I go back to that song. Free. I love that song. All right, we got a little bit more time here. Somebody asked me about my curls on my edges. So what I did on here is I used my Eco Styler gel with olive oil right on this little section. I just put a little bit here, comb my hair down, and just made lines with my comb. And that's how I got that right there. And I literally will go and rinse that out. I use my Whisper Whip too. My hair is soft enough to do that, but some people, you know. All right, Tiffany Jacob. Okay. Hey, what curl pattern do you have? Have you determined? Yes, I have 3. Mine is a 3B. Sometimes I feel like it's a 3A. But what that means is that my strands have an S pattern. Okay, 3. And then the subcategory is that my strands are very fine. If you could see them, can you even see a strand? I have one in my hand. Can you see it? It's like right there. Super fine strand of hair. And that means that, yes, my hair can break off very easily. It's good to know what your texture category is. I have a video on my YouTube channel, The Hair Whisperer Tendai. Check it out. It literally will give you the breakdown, how to determine your natural hair texture. It'll break it all down for you. I want to also talk about the Whisper Whip and how it works on locks. So, LaShonda, come on over. I know she was like, I'm not getting on that screen. Well, you know, come on over. You might want to take your glasses off because it'll glare on the light. Another beauty. This is Sarai's mom, as you can see, and she has locks. I get a lot of people say, "Hey, everybody." Hey. She has locks, and a lot of times people ask me, "Does the Whisper Whip work on locks?" So you can hear it from someone who has locks.
Yes, it works amazing on locks.
Yes. So the camera's here; they can see you right there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't she gorgeous, guys? But yes, it does work on locks. You can go in, actually put the Whisper Whip on your hair and retwist your hair with the locks. You can hydrate, go in and rub it through, and it softens the locks itself. And this is the person that says she uses the Whisper Whip on her dog.
I did. It works weird. It works really well. He's a cockapoo. It made his hair really soft.
Curly.
Yeah. Ran out of conditioner for him, and I saw the Whisper Whip, and I was like, we really love this stuff. How much of this do I want to use on the dog? It didn't take much, but it works.
It works. And you smell really good.
Yeah, we swear by this stuff. The whole family uses Whisper Whip.
There you go. And also the argan oils. Have you used the argan oils on your locks at all?
Yes.
I'm going to put a little bit on your hand.
Okay.
So the argan oil is here. We have different types, but this is so smooth. It's a nice, it's a serum actually. And the serum does not weigh your hair down. It's super light. If you guys are looking for something to create like a concrete hole, these products are not the ones. These are actually creating an environment for growth. You notice that she's going right to the scalp with these, right? Yes, because it's amazing for her hair, just to keep everything nice and hydrated. Puts a nice natural shine on it, where it's not looking like I don't know, like patent leather or something.
Right. I never wanted glossy.
No.
Yes.
So that's perfect. And the rest you can just rub right into your hands. So let's see. How do you determine your curl pattern? So if you go to my website, I'm going to break it down for you guys. LaShonda, thank you so much for being here too. I appreciate it. If you go to my website, healthyhair.solutions, you can see, she's still dancing, y'all. Still dancing over there. You can see a video that actually breaks down. There are 4 texture categories that have been identified. So every single human being fits on this spectrum of hair textures. You got category 1, category 2, category 3, and category 4. And then there are 3 subcategories, A, B, and C. So you're either going to be identified with what your DNA produces as a category 1, which is bone straight. And typically people of Asian descent have bone straight hair. Category 2, which is slightly wavy, a slight wave pattern in the hair. Okay, white people, Caucasian people usually have a slight wave pattern in hair. Category 3 is a broad category where there's a lot of people who fit in that texture category. It's S patterns, big S's on down to smaller S patterns. And then those S patterns get so small that you have Z patterns. That's category 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the subcategory is A, B, or C. And what that typically means is that your hair strand is going to be very, very fine, like I showed you, like a spider web. B is a little bit thicker, and then C is going to be a little bit thicker than that. Okay, it's amazing, you know, to find that out. You can determine what's within your grasp styling wise. You also have to keep in mind not only the texture category, but also how many strands per square inch you have that are active. Because if you don't know that, you know, and you go in trying to chase somebody else's style, you may not get the volume that you thought you would get that somebody else would. That just means that naturally your hair is not as thick as that next person. Growing your hair out super long, if your hair is fine and you don't have a lot of hair strands active, that might not be a good idea because it's going to make your hair look super thin. So you got to be really careful with that. And Zinga says, but some people can have 2 to 3 patterns in one. You know what? It is possible to have variations. But what I've noticed in Zinga is that instead of it being the pattern so much, because even if you take up, like say for instance, this area right here of my head is it feels like it's a lot coarser than what's around here, right? But it's few different things. Number one, the hair's drier here because it's the part that's most exposed to the elements, the sun, all that. But then on top of that, if I take one strand from this area and one strand from this one and hold them up side by side, they're the same. They're the same. But there's a thicker or heavier concentrations of strands in this one area than around this area. And I've noticed that on client to client, they would always complain about this area. But when I did my little just analysis of the hair strands, a lot of times it said the strands are the same. It's just that there's more hair follicles that are active in this area than there are around the side. So that can cause you to have a variation, or it seems like a variation of textures on your head too. And in that case, you want to use more product in this area to soften, or you may want to use more styling, you know, agents to, you know, lay it down different ways or twist in this area than in here. So in that aspect, yes, there could be a different combination of hair strands on your head. Yes, ma'am. I like you on here in Zingo. You have to come back and join us some more. Erica B, my natural is my natural from St. Louis. Thank you so much for joining. That's my son. Who is your son? I don't know. I know what you mean, though. You're saying that your son's hair is like that. Whisper Whip Hydration. Someone says, not mine. What was that about? Let's go back. I just got in. What's your product's name? Whisper Whip. She told you up there. So, yeah, that's it. How do I get my edges to grow? Leave them things alone. Yep. I know it's getting late, and I start getting silly around this time. So, Sarah, let's take a look. See what you have. Her hair is starting to dry now. Ooh! All right, now she's got plenty of curl, but I'm gonna tell you something.
The front is disappointing.
This part right here, this is what's irritating her. But what you're gonna have to do, Sarai, is you're gonna have to roll those bad boys up or clip them out at some point. But shake your hair out again. Okay. She's all like, yeah. She's got her strands there, and she does have a little bit of heat damage here, as you can see. But over time, if she leaves the heat out of her hair, I feel like those will curl back up. Hair has memory, and I literally do feel like those strands will curl back up. I don't think you would have a major problem for a long time. But you guys can see her curls. Allows her to do that. And as well, you know, she could go in, do 2-strand twists. You could put flexi rods in it. There's so many things. But I like to give people their real sense of where they are in their natural hair, introduce them to their curl patterns, what her curl pattern is, and allow her curl to come out and be the best possible way that it could be. You know, there's lots of styling options from here that we can go to, or she can just rock it like me and just go for it, you know, just be like, forget it, I'm good. You know? So that's how we do that. I do appreciate you all being here tonight. This is an amazing show. We had some great people on here. We're here every Wednesday, every single Wednesday. We're talking about texture talk. We're talking about texture on Texture Talk with the Hair Whisperer Tendai. And we would want to see you guys here next week. Be safe. And remember, my natural is my natural. Let them know, Sarai.
My natural is mine.
Come here, LaShonda, so you can let them know too. We're gonna say it together on a count of 3. And y'all say it with us. 1, 2, 3.
My natural is my natural.
Take care, everybody. Good night. That was awesome.